Hey everyone, just wanted to come on here and make a video on the actual deck that I will be running for JJK. Most of my videos have been me going through the card list pre-release, going over what the cards do, and kind of creating like a deck list on what I feel like will be either the strongest or the deck that I will be running for each set. But as you can tell from my videos, then I wind up changing my mind, and when the actual cards release and I physically have them in my hand, I kind of get a different understanding of the cards and what they do. And during pre-release events, I kind of see what cards do a little bit better than seeing it on a website. So there have been some back and forth with my videos on the deck that I build on Xburst and then the deck that I build in person. Xburst is a great way to look at all the cards and see, but then when it comes down to me playing them, I might not feel 100% with my mind made up. So then I wind up going in at Xburst and building another deck. So this is kind of like an update to what I'll be running for JJK. So yeah, this is the updated list for Blue Sukuna. This is not your typical Sukuna build. A lot of people still run the starter deck raid along with the Yuji raid and maybe even a split between Sukuna and Nanami. This is literally just the new Volume 2 Sukuna cards. So the 7 energy Sukuna mixed in with some of the new support, like this card, this 4 energy 2 action Sukuna, and the new color. So, you know, still your typical base cards from Volume 1, but not 100% like the normal build. That's, like I said, like the Sukuna Yuji and the Sukuna Nanami. So this is purely just Volume 2. All right, let's get into it. Before we get into the deck list, I just wanted to show off the new monthly local winner cards. So there are 4 now. They brought it back to 4, so you have to place top 4 to get a pick at these winner cards. But I just wanted to show y'all what they look like. They look absolutely amazing. I mean, look at that gold foiling. Something that I am very excited about is Attack on Titan coming soon. So we do get a little sneak peek with the Mikasa winner card. And we have CC from Code Geass. This is the Zero Drop Gato from Volume 2 of JJK, so that's cool that they brought that into this set. And, of course, the Full Metal Alchemist. So yeah, I just wanted to show off the new local winner cards. So this are the cards that they give out when you place top 4 at your regular locals. So definitely go out and play some matches, yeah, if you like these winner cards. All right, back to the deck list. To start it off, we will be starting at the 0 energy cards that I run in this deck. So I have 4 of the 0 UGs. These are add this card to your hand and will be used for raiding your Sukuna. So I am running 4 of these. And then next, I am running 4 of the Nobara, which I have the winners, but I need to add them into this deck. This is the when play draw card, then place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So this is a great card to just have an extra draw and hope that you can grab a finger from playing this card. and then you can literally just discard it. So I'm running 4 of these zeros, and it also has a trigger to draw a card. And then next, so these are from Volume 1. I will go over and tell you which ones are from Volume 1 and Volume 2. So far, these are from Volume 1. This Yuji is, so the different art, it is also in the starter deck, so you can find it there or in the regular box set. And then this Nobara is in the box. Fun fact, another way you can tell, in the corner here, it will say BT, so that's in the booster boxes, and then this right here will say ST, and that's in the starter deck. And then these Togeis are new from Volume 2. I added these in because like I said, I'm not running Nanami, so I'm using this Togei as my other zero, which is a Nullify Impact, and it also is a 2K, so this is great to just move up to your front line and use as a blocker, but also just to have a Nullify Impact into the deck. It makes it a little bit more of a defensive play when you put this in, but I usually have been trying to add Nullify Impacts into the deck because they are extremely useful and they are game changers. Some cards just already have them on it, which is a plus, but if you feel like you need to just add one in, which I feel like for how many sets new sets have come out, adding this in Volume 2 and then having something else to add into the deck with Nullify Impact is great. So I do have 4 of those. And then we have the Sukuna's Finger. This is from Volume 1. This is what you want in your sideline. You can also actually play the card. You cannot use this card unless you place 1 card from your life into your sideline or switch 1 Yuji Itadori card on your field to resting. Draw a card, choose one of your AP cards and switch it to active. So it's basically a free draw. Since your AP goes up, you do have to just tap a Yuji. Usually I will just leave a Yuji on my back line and tap like a 0 cost, because just in case I want to raid, I always just leave a 0 drop Yuji on my back line and then tap it so I can play this card when I find one, or when I'm searching for one and I find one. So this is from Volume 1. That has stayed. And then this is also from Volume 1. I am running 4 of the Gojos. Since this is a really high costing deck, I know still people in the regular build still use this card, maybe not run of 4 of, but this card is extremely useful considering there's not a lot of double energy in this deck. So this is something that I added a 4 of, especially with such a high cost in this deck, the Sukuna being 7. I know you can reduce it, which is the whole point of the deck. So the whole point of the deck is to get cards up to reduce the cost of Sukuna, so you can get him up for, I think the lowest, depending on if you're like stacking and stuff, is the lowest I've got it at least is 6. So he costs, or sorry, he costs 5 instead of 7. So this Gojo is definitely needed early game, especially just to have in your backline. These are the release event ones from Volume 1, and this is from just the regular booster box from Volume 1. So I'm running 4 of these. These are definitely great to just keep in the back line, and worst case you could just push them up and use as blockers also. And then next we are running the Yuji Searcher. So you can actually not run this card currently in North America with the starter deck Sukuna, because having the 2 cards together will get to the fingers too fast. At least that's what they assumed, because it was banned in Japan. So you can't run this specific card with the starter deck, which is exactly why I'm running it in this setup, because I'm not running the starter deck Sukuna, and I love to search for the fingers fast and get them faster. So I am running 4 of this. You basically look at top 5 for a finger, and then you place the remaining on the bottom of your deck in any order. And if you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. So this is great also just because it is a raid target, but if you have a bunch of these, it has a really small energy requirement, which is great early game. But also, if you have like 2 of these in your hand, or you draw into one like really early, you can get really far down into your deck. So if you feel like you're never gonna see a finger, you can literally just, even if you miss, and like, yeah, it might suck that you maybe bottom deck something that you wanted to use, but it makes you really dig down deep into your deck. This deck still works really well without even having a finger. I mean, it's definitely a lot more useful. You might not be able to get the Sukuna up though without a finger, but if you literally only just get 1 finger, you can make this deck work. So that's why having this card is really good, but also just having it as an extra raid target. It is also low cost, like I said, and 3000 BP, so you can also just keep it on the front line. I've definitely just ran it on the front line as a blocker, or just early game, just swinging early. And then this is the new Volume 2 color. This color was a big game changer, especially for like the Nanami and Sukuna build, or just the Sukuna and Yuji build. Essentially, if you have a Sukuna's finger card in your sideline, this character gains extra energy generation. So that's kind of why I said you at least need 1 finger, because you need this to be a double energy in order to get the bigger Sukuna up. So it might suck to not have all of Sukuna's requirements with having 4 fingers in the sideline, but at least having 1 will give this double energy, so that way you have a greater chance of getting to 7 and getting that card up. So this is a really great color. I love that they added into it. I mean, it's definitely going to make the Sukuna's deck more annoying, but it's just great for energy, which I feel like in the past, the Volume 1 version of Sukuna just always had a lack of energy problem because you're constantly raiding on your Yujis. So having this as a raid target, but also as an extra energy generation, is really what this deck needed, even though, you know, Volume 1 Sukuna was still very overpowered. But yeah, definitely a great addition to the deck. Plus the art is like really insane. Like, I love how they added the like very cartoonish anime looking like Yuji. There's one that's a Nobara that looks like the same art style, and there's also the Toto that has the same art style. I just love how they did the art style on this. Like it almost seems like they did draw it for the card game, while some of the other stuff is more like stills from the anime, which I'm totally fine with, but it definitely has like a different feel to the card, which is really cool. So I love that they did that. Next, we just have our 4 domain expansions. This is our final. We are running 4 of that. You can also, if you wanted different arts like how I did here, there is one from the starter deck that you can use. So this one I think is just the box topper one. Or from the box. And then next we have Divergent Fist, which is our special. As long as Yuji is on your field, you can sideline a 5k or less. And then again, I am running 4. Plus one of them's from the box, which is the rare foil, and then one of them is from the starter deck. So you can kind of do what I did. I kind of like to do 2 and 2 if some sets have it like this. And then next we are running Sukuna. This is the new Volume 2 Sukuna. This is the 4 energy action 2. Play this character set to active. It is a double blocker. During my turn, it gains 500 BP, so it becomes a 4K. And then if you have no fingers, choose up to 1 character with 1,500 or more in your opponent's field, and it loses 1,000 until the end of turn. And then for each finger, you add a character that loses 1,000 every time you attack with this card. So this card is really good. It's low costing. The double block is really nice, especially for decks that run a lot of low bodies and they have a lot of extra swings. So technically, like Megumi, the Megumi deck will allow his Shikigami to swing, but then with the Chimera Shadow Gordon, when Megumi attacks, it unrests. So double block for low costing bodies like a Shikigami would be really nice for this card. It also is just really great early game. It comes in active, really low cost, and then you're just minusing BP from cards. So if you have like a 5K or something on your field, you can minus it to 4,000, and then they can't block this card, which is really nice. I am only running 2. This is something that I'm not really sure if I'll keep it like this. I might add it higher and maybe bring down something else. I'm not really sure what I would bring down something though. What I would bring down. But this is a really great support to have up when you're waiting to get to the correct energy for the Sukuna, and when you're waiting for your fingers. So I am running 2. That is up in the air on whether I'll be running more or not. I'm still testing this deck out. This is like the third or fourth local that I've brought this deck to. And as you can see from the winner cards, it's been doing really well. But definitely something that I question, because I don't really see it that often, and when I do, I'm like, man, this is a really good card. But I'm not really sure what I would cut out, so that's definitely something in the future that I might make an update video on. And then moving on, we are running 2 of the Shrine. This is from Volume 1. If you don't know what this card does, if you want to pause, you basically want to just run this with any Sukuna deck possible, because as soon as you get this and some fingers, you make your Sukuna insane. This definitely has won me a lot of games with the Impact +1. Just taking 2 life and sniping a card off the front line is insane. You do get to 4 fingers pretty quickly with this deck. Obviously, there are some games that you just don't see them, and that's just the luck of the draw, unfortunately. But yeah, this Shrine is from Volume 1. I'm only running 2 because you don't want a handful of them. And so far, I've seen them, whether it be early or late game. I've always seen at least one of them, which is nice. And then next, we are running 4 of the 5 energy Yuji. This is the new card from Volume 2. During your turn, if on frontline, if you have 1 or more Sukuna's fingers in your sideline, reduce this required energy of all Sukuna's cards in your hand by 1. If you have 4 or more, reduce it by 2 instead. And then when played, draw a card, then place 1 from your hand into the sideline, and it has an active trigger. It's also 4,000 BP. So this card is really great. This will reduce your Sukunas, which is very important for this deck, which is, like I said, the whole point of this deck is to reduce Sukuna and get him out. And also just search for fingers, so that way you can have your maximized bodies up on your front line. And the fact that this card is just a 5 energy 4K is really nice. And it does stack. So if you have more than one of these on your front line, and let's say you have 4 fingers, then you quite literally reduce your Sukuna by 4 energy. So a 7 energy Sukuna would become a 3 energy Sukuna. So yeah, that's really interesting. Which I feel like late game, if you are like running out of like blockers and you're like trying to push your energy line up, but you're like really scared because you at least want to have somewhat of an energy line if you get your raid Sukuna. Having 2 of these on your front line late game would be really nice. You just push up your energy line and then you just need 3 energy to get your Sukuna up. So I feel like that would be kind of a cool move. But yeah, I'm running 4 of these UGs. And you can also use it as a raid target, because this is technically not a raid. This is just a regular base card. So you can also use this as a raid target. Next, I am only running 3 of the raid Sukunas. This is also something that I might change. I mean, pretty consistently, I've been seeing at least 1 or 2 of these a game. Sometimes 3. They don't really get taken down, especially when I have the shrine up and I'm just like sniping cards. When they do get taken down, it's not like the hugest deal, like if somebody specials the Sukuna, because he's already done enough damage that it's like I don't mind that he just gets taken off. But yeah, I think it might be nice to add at least 1 more. Like maybe if I added 1 more of these instead of adding to this and cutting like 1 card from somewhere. Maybe a Gojo, but that's very questionable just because energy would be nice. But this card, the next one that I'm going to talk about, this one I might cut. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I'm running 3 of this. This is the new Volume 2 Sukuna raid. He is 7 energy. You can reduce him with other cards in the deck. He has automatic impact, so no requirements for that impact. And then when played, choose one of the abilities listed below. If you have 3 Sukuna's fingers in your sideline, choose 2 instead. If you have 4 or more, choose all instead. So one of the options is draw a card, and then your opponent places 1 card from their hand into the sideline. Second option, all characters with 2,500 or more BP on your opponent's front line loses 2,000 until the end of turn. And third option, choose up to 1 character with 3,500 or less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. So usually I would choose all characters lose, so that way it forces them to want to block with their higher BP cards that I want to get taken off. Or if there's not really a card to target with this, or there's not a lot of cards on the front line, I will choose 1 character with 3,500 or less and sideline it instead. So those are most of the like choices. Unless I want to draw a card. Like if I'm looking for a finger or something and I want to draw a card, I will just let them place 1 from their hand into the sideline instead. But yeah, this is the raid. This is the whole point of the deck, to get him up. And then what card I was talking about before was I am running 3 of this. This is also new. This is an 8 cost 2 action. But if Sukuna is on your front line, you can reduce this card's energy by 2. So it really becomes a 6 energy card. And then choose 1 character with 4,000 or more base BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it, and then you get to draw 2 cards. The only reason why I would consider maybe dropping this down 1 and adding 1 of the Sukuna is because it says choose 1 character with 4,000 or more base BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. So it has to be a 4K, no matter what, because it specifically says 4,000 or more base BP. So if you don't have a target and you want to draw 2 cards, but there's a card under 4,000, they don't have a 4K on the front line, you can't use this card. So that would be the only reason why I would consider taking this down one. Like this, the regular special doesn't really have a requirement besides like having Yuji on your field, but it doesn't have a BP requirement for what to sideline. It is definitely like another form of removal, but also this would probably be really good in the Nanami deck to draw 2 cards. The only reason why I have it in this deck is for the finger search. But I feel like I wouldn't be mad if I cut this down to 2. So that is an option for you guys if you wanted to try out. But yeah, otherwise, this is the full list. I will link in the description my experts list with the full card list. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any changes, any questions, or any recommendations on what you would do with this deck. I will see you guys on the next one. Next video would probably be close to Full Metal Alchemist release, with probably another experts video of me going over some of the cards and maybe what deck I will run. And like I said before, I will probably change what deck I actually run, but I just love making deck lists and looking at the cards and just sharing what I think with you guys. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.